I'd like to show you the performance controls and what they do. The performance controls are going to be pretty similar across the interface of the various sample libraries inside of Symphony Essentials. But with each instrument, they're going to be tweaked a little bit to give you what you need for that specific instrument. First of all, this big giant knob in the middle, Dynamics. This isn't just a volume knob. It actually controls the way that the sample is being played back, and it lets you choose a stronger or a softer sound. So it's not just a volume knob. You'll hear the sample actually played a little differently. So if I ratchet it up high and use the trumpet, very bright, and if I bring it down low, it's not just that it's quieter, it's being played quieter. So it helps bring a level of authenticity. And it's so important that they've actually pre-mapped it to the mod wheel. So if I move my modulation wheel on my keyboard here, you'll see that it moves with it. This can help because you can easily automate it, but you can also play it live. So if you're playing a solo line, you can instantly transition to supporting role. Then play as the line again. So it's pretty cool. It actually allows you to do that while you're playing, so you don't have to do it afterwards if you want. And of course, the mod wheel is very easy to automate in just about any DAW. Now you've got attack right here, and that's going to adjust the hardness or softness of the attack. So if we bring it to the right, it's going to make it a softer attack, a little slower. So if you listen, I've got a pretty aggressive attack now, and as I slow it down, a more subtle and intimate attack. The release is what's controlling just the sort of ambience of the room and the release of the sample itself. If you turn it down to the left, it's going to be very dry and sort of unrealistic. It sounds very dry. But that can also help you if you have a favorite reverb you want to use and you don't want this release to get in the way of that reverb. So you can make it a little shorter. And we've got a small tiny hall or a small club and then a little bigger. Now we're starting to get into symphonic area. But it's nice that it's recorded with that naturally, so you can control it. You don't have to live with it. So as I said before, it can feel sometimes that some of these have reverb on them from the get-go. That's where you can adjust it. Now the tightness lets you control the start position of the sample. You don't want to really adjust the tightness usually without also adjusting the attack, because if you start the sample later, it's going to sound kind of unnatural. You're missing the whole attack phase of the instrument. Hear how it starts right in the middle of it. So if you want to get past that initial brightness of the attack of the mouthpiece, you can start the sample later, but then also slow the attack down so that you don't really necessarily hear it as much. So it really lets you craft your sound right from the beginning. And then finally, you've got control over a little bit of vibrato. And that can be handy to also map later on. You can automate it so that you can add vibrato on just some longer tones, maybe the important solo tones, but obviously maybe not in something where you're supposed to be holding an important chord tone or something like that.